good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I'm Indigo Forest, and this is the first ever business, the business segment with Indigo Forest, and I'm here with Paris Stephan, and we're getting ready for the Yo West Fusion Fest.
What up, y'all? It's your boy P. Here with my man Tyler. Finna get this interview cracking, man. What's up?
Yeah, we're here actually supporting Smoky Honey Blues Band, who will also be at the Yo West Fusion Fest. And they just got done with their set. Another band's playing right now, West Side Bowl. And it's great to be here, and it's great to have this opportunity to do this with you, man.
I'm happy to be here too, man. I appreciate it.
We both get the night off. We get to hang out a little bit, be cool with each other.
Right. Yeah, it's always good. Always a good time, man.
Exactly. All right, so one of the questions I was pressing in my mind, and I kind of like with this segment, I kind of ask like general questions, and then I go a little bit deeper with each one. And then the last question I'm going to ask every artist for the Yo West Fusion Fest promotion. So the first question I'm going to ask is, what does being an artist in the Youngstown community right now kind of mean to you?
That's a really good question. Well, first of all, I'm from Youngstown, born and raised here my entire life. So this is home. So it's nice to be able to kind of go to communities and get feedback from people I've known for years, people I just met, people I've never met before.
You mentioned that I think in like your song Pride, right? Like,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Youngstown, I hope you're proud of me. You know what I mean? Like this is my home, and I want to always be a voice for Youngstown, whether it's if I'm performing here, if I'm performing in Pittsburgh, if I'm performing in Columbus, if I'm performing for 5 people, if I'm performing for 500 people. I just want to make sure Youngstown is on my back. So that's what it means to me.
Yes, sir. And I think in our communities we need that like family kind of atmosphere. Like whenever I go to like an ethnic function where it's like a Polish event or something like that, everybody's family and they're super cool. Like everybody needs to have that vibe. We need to kind of like throw down our borders and just like be who we are. Like I only hang out with rock musicians. I only hang out with hip hop musicians. Like so many cats I know nowadays are into so many different kinds of music and so many different kinds of things. It's great. What was the biggest influence for you growing up in music? And then how has that changed kind of throughout your life?
Okay. So as a kid, actually still to this day, my parents are very religious. So I grew up in church, Bible study every Wednesday, Sunday school every Sunday. My dad is a deacon still. So yeah, shout out to my pops, growing up in church, I actually really wasn't allowed to listen to a lot of hip hop music or rap music. So I actually grew up listening to Christian hip hop. Okay. So I was a child listening to Lecrae. Lecrae is the name that everybody knows in Christian hip hop. But
do they call those holy bars?
Holy bars. That's what they call it. That's what they call it. Gospel tracks. Right. But I really the first rap music I ever fell in love with and listened to constantly was Christian hip hop music. Okay. And as I got older, it expanded to, Lil Wayne and Wale and, MF Doom, LL Cool J, Busta Rhymes. I listened to a whole lot of different music. So I wouldn't necessarily say that I rap like them, but I'm definitely influenced by the music that they made and the people that they worked with. So, ever since I was a kid, I've always loved hip-hop music, but it really did start with Christian hip-hop music. Because that's all my parents would let me listen to in church, Right. So,
where are you at now with that? So, like, what would you say is your big influence right now with what you're writing and maybe what you're going through?
I'm more heavily influenced by '90s hip hop music than anything. Okay. I don't really listen to as much Christian hip hop as I did when I was a kid, just because there's so many other options. But I still enjoy it. Right. I still listen to Lecrae. Lecrae is, probably the most popular name in Christian rap. Right. But I listen to a lot more Nas than I do Lecrae. I listen to a lot more, Sean Price than I do, anybody else. So it's definitely changed a lot since I was a kid. But I'm still a product of everything I've ever, consumed in my life. Christian rap music, you name it. So
Shout out Lecrae. Shout out Sean Price. Shout out. What was the other one?
Wale,
Mikey Rock.
everybody.
I'm trying to take notes because like I'm pretty new to the hip hop community, hip hop art in general. You know, I started off, I would say, more with like pop hip hop when I was growing up that you would hear on the radio. Like I knew every single word of like Grills by like Nelly, like Rob, and it's just because that was just like dun 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 dun.
It was so
dun,
rhythmic.
dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it was so catchy. And I evolved more into like the lyricism of hip hop. Like I fell in love with after guys like Kendrick Lamar, Immortal Technique were some of the first hip hop guys I really got into.
And those are some of the best as well.
Right. Just maybe not the hidden truth within the lyrics, but like the different meanings. And I've always loved poetry growing up, so that's really what entices me the most about hip hop myself. So I want to talk specifically about one of your songs. Okay. Level Up is one of my personal favorites. It's out on Spotify and everything, and that's like definitely a like hit. You know what I mean? That is a fucking hit for sure.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, so one of my favorite bars within Level Up, like I said, I'm kind of a lyric nerd. It says, everybody needs a theme song, working hard to put a team on, and you're at the top like you're King Kong. And that's one of my favorite bars. Who would you say is like in your team right now, like in your life? Who's rocking with you? Like, who do you feel like you're building with right now?
So I'm actually very thankful that a lot of the artists who are performing at the Yo West Fusion Fest are people who I would consider my teammates. So specifically, first of all, I want to shout out my brother, my best friend, Johnny Exodus. We've been friends since we was in the 5th grade. We didn't know that we would grow up to be a rapper and a producer, but that's just right. That's just how it worked out. But that's my brother. Like without him, I wouldn't even be making music. He was making beats before I was rapping, so he kind of inspired me to get on my grind. So, yeah. So shout out Johnny X. I love you. That's my brother for life. Also, now Johnny X is not performing at the festival, but I'm rapping some music that's produced by him. I'm pretty sure Grizzly has some music that's produced by him that he'll be performing. Yep. Oh, Curly. Yep, exactly. So Johnny X, Grizzly, Nigel's going to be performing. He actually standing in the background. Y'all can't see him. Shout out Nigel. Shout out my dog. Grizzly, Nigel, Curly. I don't want to leave anybody out. Larry is family as well. Yep. Now, see, I'm actually not familiar with them, but I'm very excited to hear them perform and meet them because it's just an opportunity to network. But if you're asking me about my team, it's me, it's Johnny, it's Grizz, it's Nigel, it's Larry, it's Curly. You know, all of them I consider close friends. Crypto Devon as well. I didn't want to leave him out. I'm very close with them. I talk to them pretty often when it comes to music and what we want to do next, what ideas we have when it comes to mixtapes or albums or music videos or whatever. So those are all people I would consider a part of my team. I don't know if I'm definitely not the leader of the team. I'm just a member of the team. But those are the people I consider my teammates, my friends, and people I support and people that support me. So.
All right, thank you. So what do you have in the works kind of right now? Like, what are some of the main things that you have maybe recently released, recently worked on with those teammates?
So I feel like I'm always constantly in the middle of a project without finishing anything. So I got a lot of songs that haven't been released yet. I got a lot of ideas for projects that I haven't been able to execute, and all the people I just mentioned, they're actually helping me along that process. So I want to make music with Crypto. I was in his studio a couple weeks ago, and we got to chop it up and have a conversation. He sent me some beats, so I'm gonna be working with Crypto pretty soon. I've been wanting to work with Grizzly for years, and I've been slacking on that. That's really like completely my fault. Johnny Exodus, I'll talk to him almost every day about music, so you know you're going to. Exactly, yeah. You know you're going to hear some music from me and him coming soon. He's actually, I don't even know if I should be saying this, but I think he's getting ready to release a project. and I'm hoping to be featured on it. I'm pretty much guaranteed to be featured on it. So I don't know when that's coming or what it's called, but I know Johnny X is working on that. So just a lot of things, like I said, I'm always in the middle of something, but I wanna put a whole thing together and finish something, because I know that's what people want and that's what I want. So you can expect to hear something from me soon. I don't know when, I don't know what, but hey, Nigel just dropped the album a couple days ago on June 21st. Brazy Bray. Nigel just dropped the album a couple days ago. I'm blessed to be featured on his album. So I want to give a shout out to Nigel. He just dropped Summer Fever. You can find that on Apple Music, Spotify, and anywhere you find music. I'm on it. I'm on one song. It's a fire song. Go check it out. So like I said, these are the guys that keep me motivated. They keep me going. Brazy Bray is dropping an album at midnight tonight. It's called Signing Day, if I'm not mistaken. Signing Day. So be on the lookout for that. Brazy Bray and Nigel are family. They're related. They make a lot of music together. So anywhere you see Nigel, you're going to see Brazy. Anywhere you see Brazy, you're going to see Nigel. So, but yeah, you'll hear some music from me very soon. I do have some stuff that's out already, but I'll be coming out with some more very soon.
Yeah, it's super exciting. It's always thrilling, I think, working with a new person. It's like working with a new instrument, working with a new connection, like working with anything like that in music. Like the first time I ever sat down and recorded electronically, I was like, man, this changes the whole game. Like, and I actually might be working with Johnny X on some lo-fi kind of stuff. Yeah, I'm actually dropping 2 lo-fi songs. One of them I am produced. I might get it mixed and mastered. I'm asking Crypto to help me with that. And then there's another lo-fi that Johnny sent me a couple beats and a couple rhythms, and I'm going to try to put a melody and maybe a lead or a solo on it. Okay. And I'm pretty excited about that myself. But talking about the Youngstown music scene in general, you know, how long have you been doing music?
I've been making music probably since I was in like the 9th or 10th grade. Okay. So I was like 15 or 16 years old when I started recording. Now before that, like I mentioned earlier, I was rapping Christian hip hop songs at church. Right. You know, as a 9-year-old, 10-year-old kid. That's the only music I had memorized when I was a kid. Right. But I have been recording music probably since I was 15 or 16 with Johnny X, with a couple of other close friends. A good friend of ours in high school had a recording studio in his garage. So we used to just go to, it was called Big Booth. So we used to just drive over there to Big Booth, and we would all sit in the studio for like 3 or 4 hours just recording and laying vocals down. So that's when it really started. But I didn't really start taking it serious until I wrote Level Up, actually. I was at Darian's house. I wrote Level Up in his bedroom. He was playing a beat on his computer. And yeah. And it just kind of expanded from there. So that was what, maybe 2018, 2019 is when I started like taking music seriously. And then thankfully I've been blessed to, you know, perform here, perform in Columbus, perform in Pittsburgh, perform in Newcastle. You know, I've opened up for some bigger artists. I've, you know, been featured on my friends' mixtapes and friends' albums and stuff like that. So I'm just thankful. Like I said, my friends, you know, always bring up my name when it comes to opportunities, and I'm thankful for that. So, yeah, it's been a big part of my my music career for sure.
So, being in this scene right now, what do you think Youngstown music scene needs the most, in your opinion?
I honestly think what we need the most is collaboration, cooperation, because Youngstown, I feel like it's small in a sense, but I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that we've all shaken hands with an artist. We've all been in the same room as a producer, a guitar player, a singer, and it's like everybody thinks we're constantly in competition with each other, when it should be, instead of competition, it should be collaboration. Sure. You know, when it comes to yeah, and Tyler has been doing an excellent job of that. Ever since I met Tyler, all he talks about is how can we get the community involved? How can we get this artist involved? How can we get that singer involved? Ever since I met him, that's all he's been about. So I definitely want to, thank you and commend you on that as well, because it's not easy. Like I said, everybody thinks that you got to compete with the next artist. I got to be a better rapper than him. I got to be a better singer than him. Y'all should work together and figure out how to, build each other up. That's what I like to do. I'm not competing with nobody. I'm trying to be me. And yeah, that is the business. That's what it comes down to. So to answer your question, I really think Youngstown needs collaboration more than anything. There's so much talent here, and everyone can help the next person. You know, I don't want to be closed-minded. I don't want anyone else to be closed-minded. I think we can all help each other get to where we want to be, and we can put Youngstown on the map and spotlight something positive, because I know Youngstown is well known, but it's well known for a lot of negative things, and we have the opportunity to change that. We can be just as talented as a Chicago or an Atlanta or a Los Angeles. You know, they have giant ecosystems of talent, and they only work with each other. Everyone from LA work with everybody else from LA. Everybody in Chicago work with everybody else from Chicago. Youngstown needs to do the same thing, and we have the talent to do it. So that's what I think we need.
Yeah, and sometimes that just really comes down to organization. You know, having the right minds in the right spot, the right vibes at the right spot. And I feel like right now, and Larry and I have kind of like, Larry's coined in this term, I feel like we're kind of on the precipice of a musical renaissance, like in Youngstown, Greater Cleveland, Pittsburgh. I feel like our area, even Columbus too, you know, we have so many talented artists, and now we're starting to optimize. We're optimizing our time. We're optimizing our brand, our resources, and we're getting our shit together. Like in Columbus, and I have this like, call it like a visual of like frequencies. Like I think everything's like a wave. Okay, so it's like in the biggest cities they got like the highest waves, and like in the smaller cities they got like a lower wave. In the crunchy side they're like, whoa, like super low waves. All right. So in the cities, everything's like super hype. Everything's happening super fast. In Columbus, they actually have a art district with a shit ton of warehouses, and the bunch of these artists just bought these warehouses. That they might have got it crowdfunded or gone through a land bank or something, but they essentially sectioned them off into different studios, and then like if that pays the rent. You know, so you get one warehouse, you break that warehouse into 50 rooms, 20 rooms, and you charge rent for each room, and then the income you make off of that, you use to repair the building, and everything like that, and the taxes and all that stuff, and then there's artist grants, all that stuff that we got to think about applying for, because that's what they did in Columbus. You know, they got organized, they got smart, and like we have the capability to do that. We got the land, we got the space for it, and I've been seeing some cats, you know, getting into the warehouse game. Like, you know, Derek's got a warehouse. Yeah.
Actually, as a matter of fact, I want to shout out to Derek as well, because his warehouse is actually housing the bikes for Yogo Bike Share, a business that I'm a part owner of, co-founder with my brother and my dad and my other brother, another family effort. So I want to shout out to Derek McDowell. He's going to be providing a lot of resources for the Yo West Fusion Fest. You know, vendors market, a lot of vendors selling clothes and accessories and things like that. Derek McDowell has been instrumental from day one when it comes to helping us out. So, again, he's someone who's all about community, all about collaboration. And I think we need more of that. Derek is a perfect example of that. So, shout out to Derek.
All right, thank you. And the last question, kind of to top it all off, what does the Yo West Fusion Fest mean to you?
Oh, man, I think the Yo West Fusion Fest is the beginning of something great for Youngstown. I was talking to Tyler earlier and saying that I want this to be an annual thing that people look forward to, just like, there's, Coachella and the Dreamville Fest in Carolina, and there's Camp Flog Gnaw in L.A. I want this to be Youngstown's Coachella, Different artists from different places come here to see what we got going on. And I want this to be something that happens every single year and just gets bigger and bigger and bigger until, maybe it's not at Westside Bowl. Maybe it's at the amphitheater. Yeah. Maybe it's at the Covelli Center. Right. Maybe,
And they're asking us to.
Exactly. That's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean. So to me, this is the beginning. This is signifying a beginning of, like you said, a renaissance for us artists here. I think this is going to grow to something great, and we have the ability to do that. We have a ton of talent here. We have a ton of great-minded people like Tyler and like Derek and like Nate, you know, the owner of Westside Bowl, who allow us to come together and put on shows like this. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't even be sitting down having this interview, you know?
Yeah, they gave us the space, and that is what it is. I mean, we wouldn't be able to do this without a safe space to do this in, man.
Right.
You know, that's all it's about. So I appreciate you linking up, and we're about to hang out a bit more, you know, off the record. And yeah, I just really wanted to thank you and appreciate you coming out. And it's going to be a good time. We're going to shoot some promotional videos and stuff tonight and have some fun.
Yes, sir. So I just want to say thank you again to Tyler for this interview and this opportunity. The Yo West Fusion Fest will be on Saturday, July 15th. It starts at 4 o'clock. It goes until probably 10 or 11 at night. There's going to be a million live performances, vendors. There's going to be bowling. There's going to be food. There's going to be beer. There's going to be whatever you can think of, it'll be here. I'll be performing. Nigel will be performing. Grizzly, Curly, Larry, the Smoky Honey Blues Band. I'm probably leaving some people out. Crypto Divine, of course. But it's going to be an amazing time, and I'll be there as well. I look forward to seeing you guys there, and we're going to put on a show for you. So let's make it a big one.
This has been the first segment of The Business. Good night. Bray, you want to say anything? Bray, get it.
And if you wasn't fucking with this motherfucking shit, you wasn't fucking with the crew. Westside Bowl, Indigo, Paris. Man, it goes down on a goddamn Friday night. Don't play with them. Play with us. You're
On everything. It goes down. All right, good night, y'all.
Get easy with the complaining. Life ain't always gonna be sunshine. It's hard to see it when it's just raining, but it's flowers growing at the same time.
And I ain't cocky, I'm just proud of me.